Welcome back. It's James Mel here, and for today's guitar lesson, we are going to be unlocking the fretboard with the pentatonic scales in the key of A minor. I'm going to show you each position and each pattern. I'm going to walk you through different ways of how to practice these, and I'm going to show diagrams right here below on the screen so you can see the tablature and follow along to each pattern. Let's get to it. Let's jump right into these pentatonic scales in the key of A minor. I'm going to be playing it from the first position to the last, all the way up to the 12th fret here in the key of A minor. I'm going to be putting the tabs below so you can follow along. If you have to pause the video to practice or memorize these scales, I strongly instruct you do so. Let's get going. Here's the first position. The second position. Let's go to the third position, mothership. Fantastic. Let's move on to the fourth position. Fantastic. Let's move on to the fifth position. Great job, we did it. So those were all the positions of the pentatonic scale. And if we would have kept going up the neck, that would have been our octave. So our first position would have restarted right here. And then our next. So there's positions. Now I'm going to show you a great way to practice them. One way to practice these scales is to literally just play them from top to bottom and then move on to the next position. And if you do this to a metronome, that is the most effective way. Kind of what I mean by from top to bottom and move on to the next position. Get the point. What you really want to do is make sure your notes are clear, precise, they're clean, and they're accurate, right? You want to hold your notes down. Don't be playing the scales like this. You know, let your notes ring out. Hold pressure down on the notes whenever you hit them. This is the first example I'd like to share with you on how to practice pentatonic scales. So you can see in example one, all we did was just doubled up on the string. Follow along with the tabs below. And you know, practice that, because the more you practice it, the faster you'll get at it, and the more fluid and the more familiar it'll become, and you can bust those out during any type of solos. For our next example, we're going to be doing a technique called string skipping. Pay attention to this one. You're going to want to take this one very, very slowly at first. You don't want it to become sloppy, and you don't want to hit other strings that you're not supposed to be hitting. Okay, here's what we're going to do. Follow along to the tab below. example 2, string skipping. This is a very, very fun technique, and you can make some killer runs with this. But like I said, you're really going to want to make sure you play this clean, and the way to do that is to first practice it slow. My guitar teacher always told me, if you can't play it slow, you'll never play it fast. So take your time, develop the technique. String skipping is awesome. Don't shy away from it. It is difficult to do at first, but the more you do it, the more repetition, you'll get it. Let's move on to example 3. So example 3 is a really fun one. We're actually going to be playing the scale in triplets. This is going to focus and rely a lot on your picking hand technique. Make sure that you're doing up-down picking for this. If you are now developing the habit of only doing downstrokes for whenever you are picking, that is a very bad habit and it's tough to unlearn that. So try to stay disciplined with your up-down picking on this, okay? So we're going to be taking that scale and we're going to be playing it in triplets like this. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. There we have it. Just remember, you can do that for each position, okay? That's what all these patterns are. These are for you to basically translate into all the other positions, right? Follow those tabs and just memorize those patterns and apply them to each different position. All right, so pattern 4, we're definitely going to step up the difficulty of this lesson. So please make sure that you pause and follow along to the tab below. This one can be a little bit intense because we're going to be changing positions now. So that was our next example. As you can see, all we did is that we broke the scale in half for each position and we only played the last 3 strings, all right? Now, you can actually play that backwards too. The name of the game here is you're trying to break the positions down of the scale and basically connect them and use more real estate of the fretboard, right? This unlocks the fretboard. So, and different ideas are going to come to you whenever you play like that, you know, because changing from one scale to the other, you can open up a different world of tonalities. So try that run. It's very, very fun. And, you know, make it a speed challenge. Play along to a metronome and see how quickly you can do that. You know, this is one of those things, once again, endless repetition. It's going to make you a beast player, and you're going to develop more muscle memory than you know what to do with the more you play it. So let's move on to the next example. This next example is a piece I'm taking right out of Zach Wild's book, all right? We're going to be basically using 2 strings for the entire exercise, all right? Follow the tab below. The more you practice that one, the more your speed will increase, and the more your speed will increase, the more awesome it will sound. Try to play it clean, take your time at first, develop that muscle memory, and this is a really fun lick because you can play it all the way up and down the neck. Now for this next example, I can't put up any type of tablature for it because I'm going to be making it up as I go, but the name of the game here is just to try to keep a scale going and connect all your pentatonic shapes and patterns. Kind of like this. Just wherever you go. makes sense. Just use the notes that are in those positions and just keep plucking along and keep trying to challenge yourself to go from one position to the next. The other thing is play between two different positions that are apart from one another. So you can take that last position and you're completely disregarding the one in between it, but you're playing in between both of those positions. So go down on one, come up on the other. Hope that's helpful. Thank you so much for tuning into this video. Just remember to take your time practicing these pentatonics. The quicker you memorize them, the quicker you are on your way to shredding up a storm and unlocking the fretboard. It's going to be awesome. Hang in there. Don't get discouraged. Like I said again, pause this video for some of those tabs and apply them to each scale position that we learned and covered in this video today. I'll see you guys next time. Shred on.